Decades ago, Natalie Wood drowned off Catalina Island, sparking one of Hollywood's most enduring mysteries. Was it a tragic accident or something darker? Join us as Christopher Walken finally breaks his silence on her death, leaving the world stunned. Hollywood's beloved the mysterious circumstances surrounding Natalie Wood's death in 1981, while aboard a boat with her husband Robert Wagner, continue to captivate and haunt the public imagination. Natalie Wood was one of Hollywood's most cherished actresses, her life a mesmerizing blend of cinematic triumphs and heartbreaking personal tragedies. Her journey to stardom began early, driven by her mother's relentless ambition. At just 4 years old, she secured her first film role in Happyland, setting the stage for a career that would make her a household name. It was her role as the innocent young orphan in Miracle on 34th Street that truly captured America's heart, showcasing her remarkable talent and undeniable charm. Wood's ability to transition from a beloved child star to a leading lady was a rare feat, but she did so with unparalleled grace, leaving a lasting impression on the silver screen. Like all actors, Natalie faced the inevitable ups and downs of a career in Hollywood. While her body of work wasn't vast, the roles she played in classic films are still fondly remembered. Younger generations may not recognize all her films, but the story of her tragic and untimely death remains etched in the collective memory. Wood portrayed characters ranging from the steadfast and dependable to the high-strung and neurotic, and audiences always rooted for her to find happiness, a stark contrast to the tragic reality of her life. Despite her untimely death, Natalie Wood achieved a strange kind of immortality, her story continuing to evoke both fascination and sorrow. What makes her case so hauntingly unique? And why, 3 decades later, did officials decide to revisit the circumstances of her death? The enduring mystery of Natalie Wood's fate keeps us all wondering what really happened on that fateful night. Natalie Wood's background. Natalie Wood, born Natalie Zakarenko on July 20th, 1938, in San Francisco, seemed destined for the limelight from the very start. Yet, beneath the Hollywood sparkle lay a story of deep family struggles and the relentless ambitions of a mother with grand dreams. Her mother, Maria, known as Musha, had once enjoyed a life of luxury in Barnaul, where her family owned soap and candle factories. However, the Russian Civil War forced them to flee to China, eventually finding refuge in Harbin. Maria's life was a tumultuous journey before she met Natalie's father, Nicholas Zakarenko. She had previously been married to an Armenian mechanic, Alexander Tachilov, with whom she had a daughter, Olga. After moving to the US in 1930 and divorcing Alexander 6 years later, Maria's life continued to be marked by upheaval. Nicholas Zakarenko also brought his share of hardship. His father, a chocolate factory worker and anti-Bolshevik fighter, was killed in the Civil War. Nicholas and his family fled to Shanghai, then Vancouver, before finally reaching the US in 1933. Against this backdrop of survival and perseverance, Nicholas and Maria met, marrying in February 1938, just months before Natalie's birth. A year later, the family changed their last name to Gurdon, seeking to blend into American society. By 1942, they had settled in Santa Rosa, California. It was here that young Natalie's life took a pivotal turn. Discovered by a film crew during a downtown shoot, her excitement was quickly overshadowed by the pressures that followed. RKO executives David Lewis and William Goetz decided her last name needed a change to resonate with English-speaking audiences, choosing Wood as a nod to filmmaker Sam Wood. Natalie's early years were anything but ordinary. With a younger sister, Svetlana, later known as Lana Wood, born in 1946, the family was deeply entrenched in the world of acting. At just 4 years old, Natalie made her debut in The Moon is Down, 1943. Her brief appearance in Happyland, 1943, caught the attention of director Irving Pichel, who encouraged her mother to bring Natalie to Los Angeles for a screen test. Driven by an unrelenting ambition, Maria uprooted the family, despite her husband's reservations. At 7, Natalie landed a role in Tomorrow is Forever, 1946, where her mother's intense methods, such as tearing a butterfly to provoke tears, left a mark on Orson Welles, who praised her as a born professional. As Natalie's career flourished, she continued working with Peschel and later with 20th Century Fox. But behind each role, she was a child navigating a demanding world, propelled by a mother's unwavering drive. Natalie Wood became a star. At just 15, she was already navigating the complexities of fame, playing the teenage daughter Ann Morrison in the ABC sitcom The Pride of the Family during the 1953-54 season. It wasn't just TV roles, though. She also found herself in guest spots on shows like the Pepsi-Cola Playhouse, Public Defender, and General Electric Theater, where she once called her performance in the episode Carnival one of her best. Her transition from a child star to a leading lady wasn't without its challenges. At 16, she took on a role that would define her career, starring alongside James Dean and Sal Mineo in Rebel, Without a Cause, 1955. This was a film she chose on her own, defying her parents' wishes, and it earned her an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress. But even as she graced the silver screen, appearing in John Ford's The Searchers and A Cry in the Night in 1956, there was a restlessness within her. After graduating from Van Nuys High School that same year, Wood signed with Warner Brothers. Yet, the roles she was offered, often the typical girlfriend parts, left her feeling unfulfilled. Despite being paired with stars like Tab Hunter in The Burning Hills and The Girl He Left Behind, both 1956, and Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. in Bombers B-52, 1957, something was missing. It wasn't until 1958, when she took on the lead in Marjorie Morningstar, that she found a role that resonated with her. Playing a young Jewish girl in New York City, struggling with her family's expectations and searching for her own identity, Wood finally began to explore the depths of her talent. Natalie Wood's peak years of stardom. Natalie Wood, once the epitome of youthful charm and promise, faced her own share of hidden battles. From the early days of her career, where she transformed from a sweet-faced child star into a restless icon of the 1950s, Wood's journey was far from smooth. After her notable role with Frank Sinatra in Kings Go Forth, she hit a rough patch, including a suspension from Warner Brothers influenced by her reaction to A Streetcar Named Desire. This period marked a pivotal shift in her acting, pushing her to explore deeper, more vulnerable roles. Elia Kazan recognized the depth in Wood and gave her a chance in Splendor in the Grass, marking a turning point in her career. Kazan valued her unique blend of innocence and sensuality, which allowed her to evolve from her earlier roles into more complex characters. At just 25, Wood garnered her third Academy Award nomination for Love with The Proper Stranger, becoming one of the youngest ever to achieve this feat. A record later surpassed by Jennifer Lawrence and Saoirse Ronan, who both earned their third nominations by age 23. Despite her successes, Wood faced harsh criticism. She was recognized as the worst actress by the Harvard Lampoon in 1966, an honor she accepted with surprising grace, showing her ability to handle adversity with poise. During the mid-60s, as she stood alongside Hollywood legends like Elizabeth Taylor and Audrey Hepburn, Wood's career was marked by both high points and struggles. After the mixed reception of Penelope, Wood took a break from acting, disheartened by the film's demanding production and the personal toll it took on her. By 1966, she sought therapy to deal with her emotional challenges, even paying Warner Brothers to cancel her contract. In 1969, she married Richard Gregson, stepping away from the spotlight to focus on her mental health and personal well-being. Natalie Wood's marriages. Natalie Wood's relationships with actor Robert Wagner were a media sensation. They first married on December 28, 1957, in Scottsdale, Arizona, when Wood was just 19. But the fairy tale ended abruptly with their separation announced on June 20, 1961, and their divorce finalized on April 27, 1962. Wood's post-marriage life was a whirlwind of high-profile romances with Warren Beatty, Michael Caine, and David Niven Jr. In 1965, she briefly engaged to Venezuelan shoe magnate Vladislav Blatner. By May 30, 1969, Wood had married British producer Richard Gregson, and they welcomed a daughter, Natasha, on September 29, 1970. Their marriage unraveled quickly, with Wood filing for divorce on August 4, 1971, and finalizing it by April 12, 1972. A short-lived affair with future Governor Jerry Brown followed, before Wood reignited her relationship with Wagner in January 1972. They remarried on July 16, 1972, aboard the Ramblin' Rose in Malibu, and had a second daughter, Courtney, born on March 9, 1974. Adding to the intrigue, former FBI agent Donald G. Wilson claimed to have had a 4-year affair with Wood starting during her pregnancy with Courtney, a revelation he discussed in a 2016 Reels documentary. Robert Wagner, Natalie Woods' husband Robert Wagner, once the epitome of Hollywood charm, has always lived a life that seems straight out of a movie script. His personal dramas, especially his highly publicized marriages to Natalie Wood, have fascinated and captivated the public for years. Their whirlwind romance, filled with intense passion, breakups, and a tragic mystery, mirrors the kind of stories that made him a star. In the glamorous 1950s and 1960s, Wagner was a magnetic presence on screen, winning hearts with his good looks and charisma. But behind the glitz and glamour, his off-screen relationships and marital woes kept him perpetually in the spotlight, making his life as intriguing as his roles. He shone brightly as Prince Valiant, and while his versatility was evident in his diverse roles, it was his authentic charm that truly captured the audience's hearts. Yet, the brilliance of Wagner's career was tempered by personal struggles. The shadow of Natalie Wood's tragic death in 1981 loomed over him, with lingering questions and public speculation adding weight to his legacy. Despite these challenges, Wagner carried himself with grace, focusing on his work and family. In his later years, he continued to engage with his audience through television and voice work, and his memoir, Pieces of My Heart. A Life released in 2018 offered a heartfelt glimpse into the man behind the Hollywood persona, Natalie Wood's fear of dark water. Natalie Wood's life was shadowed by deep-seated fears and unresolved trauma, much of which stemmed from her early years. Suzanne Finch's 2001 biography reveals a startling truth about Wood's childhood. Her mother instilled a paralyzing fear of dark water in her, based on a fortune teller's chilling prediction that Maria would drown. This fear seeped into Natalie's life, shaping her experiences on set and off. When Wood was just 10, filming The Green Promise became a harrowing ordeal. She had to cross a bridge over fierce, rushing water, an already daunting task made worse by the knowledge that the bridge was rigged to collapse. Despite her mother's promises of safety, the bridge gave way mid-scene, throwing young Natalie into the water as she clung desperately to debris. The director, William Russell, urged the cameras to keep rolling, capturing her genuine terror and struggle. This fear of water became a haunting presence in her life, affecting her in profound ways. Friends and family remember her intense aversion to having her hair washed and the recurring nightmares of drowning. At 14, a sudden script change forced her to leap from a boat or risk losing her role in The Star with Bette Davis. She jumped but was overtaken by hysteria. Finch's detailed account of these formative experiences suggests that Wood's mother played a pivotal role in shaping her fears. The transformation from Natasha Zacharie-Renko to Natalie Wood was not just a career change but a deeply personal struggle, with Maria's anxieties woven into the very fabric of her daughter's life. Natalie Wood, robbed of her childhood. Natalie Wood's early years were a dazzling blend of childhood and stardom, a juggling act of schooling and film sets. As a minor, she navigated California's strict regulations for child actors, studying on studio lots and earning straight A's. Director Joseph L. Mankiewicz marveled at her intelligence, calling her a remarkably gifted young actress. Yet, beyond the limelight, Wood's life was fraught with complexity. Her mother, a formidable presence, controlled every aspect of her career, including orchestrating high-profile relationships. At just 15, Wood was pushed into a controversial relationship with Frank Sinatra, and later, an affair with Nicholas Ray that helped land her iconic role in Rebel Without a Cause. Despite celebrated performances in Splendor in the Grass, West Side Story, and Inside Daisy Clover, Wood's personal turmoil was hidden from the public. Her second marriage to Robert Wagner, whom she called her one and only, brought her joy, yet deep-seated fears from her past remained buried beneath her glamorous facade. In her final days, Wood and Wagner planned a yacht trip to Catalina Island. The evening of November 28, 1981, saw them dining with actor Christopher Walken and yacht captain Dennis Davern. Concerns about their intoxication prompted a safety check, but Wood's blood alcohol level was alarmingly high at 0.14% when she died. Later that night, an argument between Wagner and Walken was reported, and by 11:05 p.m., Wood had disappeared. The dinghy was missing, and it wasn't until 3:30 a.m. on November 29th that the Coast Guard was alerted. Wood's body was found shortly after, a mile from the yacht, and her funeral drew Hollywood's elite, a poignant reminder of the impact and loss her death left behind. Christopher Walken. Statements about Natalie Woods' death. Christopher Walken's name has become intertwined with one of Hollywood's most enduring mysteries, the death of Natalie Wood. On the fateful night of November 28, 1981, Walken found himself aboard the yacht Splendor alongside Wood, her husband Robert Wagner, and the yacht's captain, Dennis Davern. The evening, intended as a relaxing getaway to Santa Catalina Island, would turn into a tragic chapter of Hollywood lore. The night began with heavy drinking and escalating tensions between Wagner and Wood. Walken, caught in the midst of their arguments, has remained largely reticent about the events that unfolded. His silence has only fueled speculation and intrigue surrounding the tragic incident. Wood's death was initially deemed an accidental drowning, but the case has never fully settled. Walken's rare public statements offer some insight, but leave many questions unanswered. In a 1997 interview with Playboy magazine, Walken reflected on that somber night. He described the conditions on the yacht, noting the rain and the slippery ski ramp that could have contributed to the incident. Walken revealed that Wood had gone to bed early and was alone in her cabin. He suggested that she might have ventured out to secure the dinghy, which was bouncing against the boat. Given Wood's known inability to swim, her death seemed particularly tragic. Despite Walken's account, doubts linger. The autopsy conducted by Dr. Joseph Choi on November 30, 1981, revealed Wood's elevated blood alcohol levels and several bruises consistent with a fall overboard. The official cause of death was ruled as accidental drowning. However, the case saw a significant twist in 2011 when the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department reopened the investigation. New information from unnamed sources led to fresh scrutiny. Dennis Davern, the yacht's captain, admitted that he had lied in his initial statements and suggested that Wagner might have played a role in the tragedy. By January 2013, the Sheriff's Department revised the cause of Wood's death to drowning and other undetermined factors, acknowledging that some of Wood's bruises might have been inflicted before she fell into the water. This amendment did not clarify the timing of the injuries. The investigation took another turn in February 2018 when Robert Wagner was officially named a person of interest in the case. The documentary Natalie Wood, What Remains Behind, aired in 2020, further examined the complexities of Wood's death. During this program, Wood's daughter, Natasha Gregson Wagner, confronted her stepfather, Robert Wagner, on camera. Wagner vehemently denied any involvement, and Gregson Wagner defended him, asserting her belief in his innocence. Walken's public remarks and the ongoing investigation underscore the enigmatic nature of Natalie Wood's death. Despite Walken's insistence that the incident was an accident and his desire for privacy with the detectives, the case continues to fascinate and perplex. Hollywood remains captivated by the unresolved elements of Wood's tragic end, a story that reveals the darker undercurrents behind the glamorous facade of Tinseltown. Natalie Wood left us legacy. Natalie Wood was a radiant presence who effortlessly bridged the classic allure of old Hollywood with the fresh energy of new Hollywood. Her role in the 1969 film Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice marked a spectacular comeback after a period of personal and professional trials, solidifying her status across two cinematic eras. Wood's talent wasn't confined to the big screen. Her performance in the 1979 television miniseries From Here to Eternity won her a Golden Globe, proving her versatility and enduring appeal on both film and television. With a career spanning 56 films, Wood's work was a constant thread in the tapestry of Hollywood, even if critical acclaim was not always in abundance. Her steadfast presence in the industry spoke to her undeniable talent and resilience. Yet behind the glamour and success, her life was often under a harsh spotlight. Woods' legacy has frequently been overshadowed by the intense scrutiny of her personal life. The dramatic circumstances of her untimely death, her highly publicized relationships, including her tumultuous marriage, divorce, and later reconciliation with Robert Wagner, have all been the subject of relentless media attention. The public's fascination didn't stop there. Her connections with notable actors of the 1960s and her struggles with mental health further fueled the spotlight on her private affairs. According to her daughter, Natasha Gregson Wagner, this relentless focus on Woods' personal battles has overshadowed her remarkable professional achievements. Despite the often overwhelming attention to her personal life, Natalie Woods' contributions to the entertainment industry are significant. Her transition from a child star to a celebrated actress who thrived in both old and new Hollywood underscores her remarkable talent and enduring influence.